Hello there, today we're going to talk about the enigmatic figure we know as Future Guy. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below because this video is going to be fluff. It's going to be mostly speculation. Before we get started though, have I told you already, or have you watched my videos already where I have told you about my and my wife's new company called Alternative World? We specialize in our own custom designed printed t-shirts, hoodies and various other clothes, as well as homeware items and a few other things that are on there. The website is growing currently. It is in the description box below. If you want to support this channel, support me, or support our endeavor to grow the company, which we do hope to eventually have a physical location, not just an online store. This is an attempt by us to actually branch out on our own and have our own business rather than being, slaves to the man. If you want to support us in that endeavor, which of course you're not obligated to do in any way, shape or form, feel free to just ignore it. But if you do think maybe there's something there I like, feel free to check out the link in the description box below. Some of the stuff that I'm showing hopefully on screen about now is what's on there. It is a limited selection currently, but we are planning to expand. The bigger we get, the easier it will be for me to increase the amount of stock and the range of stock. At the minute we're still in a limited phase and I want it to grow. If you think you want to help with that, if you're interested in something a bit different that's unique, because these are bespoke, they're original designs either done by my wife or by an artist that I commissioned, then at least you know you're not getting something that's you're getting from off the shelf at Asda or somewhere like that. Check it out in the box below, and let's get to this episode on Future Guy. If you're not familiar with Future Guy is possibly a guy, might actually be a woman, based on the sound and basic silhouette. Probably a guy, maybe, let's not judge. Yeah, that's pretty much all we know. He was the one who was from the 26th century, and he was feeding the Suliban information, at least the Suliban. He was not capable of physically time traveling, but he could project his image and talk to people in the past. He was able to give the Suliban technology to advance them scientifically and biologically, giving them various genetic enhancements that made their species stronger. They get an ability to make themselves invisible, to shapeshift. They were stronger, more agile, could run up and down walls. They healed faster and were basically a much more resilient species. Whereas a Suliban in its stock form was no more strong, agile, didn't or lived any longer than or was more intelligent than your baseline human. So they had all those advantages. Plus we see Suliban ships, for example the Cell ship, a vessel that's a few meters across, equipped with a particle beam that was easily, or at least nearly as strong as the phase cannons carried aboard Enterprise, but had a warp capability that was superior to that of a vessel literally what, 100 times its size, without a problem. We don't know they had the same kind of range as Enterprise, but they certainly could outrun it, reaching speeds of at least warp 6. This was all thanks to technology they were given from the 26th century. Future Guy, who is he though? That's the speculation, right? Who the hell is Future Guy? It's possible that someone like Vosk was actually running the Suliban, although he references the Suliban as a faction in the Cold War. It's implied that he's probably not the one pulling the strings, but it's possible that he actually was. I mean, we don't know he's telling the truth, or that one of his other race was doing it. We simply don't know. There were enough factions in the Temporal Cold War that some of them may not have even known about one another and exactly who was running what. One theory is that actually Archer was Future Guy. How that works in the 26th century, I have no idea. And I honestly can't even break down or begin to break down how that theory even works, because it just doesn't. Another theory that is one of mine, although I don't actually even subscribe to my own theory, so let you be the judge, is that Future Guy is actually a member of the Suliban race. It would make some sense that you would contact your own species to improve your own life in the distant future. It makes less sense for it to be Archer. But if you can think of a good reason why it would be Archer, put it in the comments below. Another theory is it's simply a person, just a faction, we don't know who, and it's irrelevant. Could be anybody. It didn't really matter, basically, from the point of view of the 22nd century, who it was, because butterfly effect, it simply could have been anyone from the future pulling the strings to improve their own lives by proxy. It's also possible it was someone from even further in the future, going back in time, as I discussed in a previous video, and actually playing both sides against the middle by travelling from the 32nd century or 31st century or 29th century, going back to the 26th century to do this, or using some kind of relay and then returning to the future to investigate themselves, Daniels. That's another one of my theories, but it's probably not true either. Basically, we don't know who Future Guy is. As I said at the beginning of this video, it's going to be fluff. A lot of fluff, we simply don't know. There are many good speculations and some apocryphal sources that we're not even going into, because we don't go into apocrypha. We base it on what we can see, on the science of the show. And on the science, we don't know. Simple. He was somebody who was in a position of power in the future, wanted to make himself stronger. He certainly had resources, things you can definitely know about Future Guy. He had access to some pretty sophisticated technology, particularly the ability to travel in time on some level, at least project his image, talk through time. We know that there was limitations on how well he could see someone back in the time, so he was using some kind of projection, not just a communication. So it wasn't like it was a transmission exactly, more like perhaps some kind of temporal displacement a little bit, but not fully travelling. We do know that the same science and technology could be used to time travel, he just didn't know how. It does imply that he wasn't necessarily a scientist, but was someone giving technology to the past, blueprints and designs. But he definitely had access to the advanced technology to give to the Suliban in the first place. But the amount of different scientific disciplines that the Suliban were enhanced in, medical, general intelligence, technology, in the physics of it, basically in the warp reactors, their weapons, their sensors, cloaking technology, all kinds of things. Those are all very different scientific disciplines that a single individual, although it's possible they would have that amount of knowledge, probably don't, and they're more likely giving token tech that they have lying around to them is primitive, but to the Suliban would have been very advanced. And that's pretty much all we know about Future Guy. Let me know your theories in the comment section below as to who he might be. And also check out my website if that's something that might interest you. It's in the description box below. And we're at the end of this video now. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.